This was a job interview with an annual salary of $800,000. But when the candidates received the test paper, they froze, because it was just a blank sheet of paper. They all felt confused, but no one said a word. Earlier, the examiner had announced 3 rules. They could not speak to the examiner or the security guard. They could not leave the room. They could not damage the test paper. If anyone broke any of these rules, they would be disqualified immediately. So everyone stayed silent, even when the examiner asked a question. Then the examiner started an 80-minute countdown and left the room. Everyone stood frozen. There was no question on the paper. How were they supposed to answer? 10 minutes passed. A woman finally could not take it anymore. She decided to write her work report on the paper. But before she could even finish one sentence, the security guard walked over and removed her from the room. It turned out she had broken the 3rd rule. Writing on the paper counted as damaging it. While everyone was still thinking, one man suddenly laughed and greeted the man with the beard next to him. They were not allowed to speak to the examiner or the guard, but nothing said they could not talk to each other. Sure enough, the guard did not react. The room came alive as everyone began to talk about the blank paper. Someone suggested that the paper might be made of a special material and needed to be seen under certain light. So they tried using light sources to shine on the paper, but nothing happened. One man guessed maybe they needed a special kind of light, so they looked at the emergency light. Soon, they smashed all the lights on the wall. The emergency light turned on, and they quickly tested the paper under it, but still, nothing changed. Then a girl with glasses noticed that there was one more light tube on the wall that had not turned on, so they smashed the emergency light too. The next second, the room was filled with an orange glow. They thought this special light might be the key, but once again, it was a disappointment. If it was not the light, maybe it was the paper itself. To test this, the man picked up the paper from the first person who had been disqualified and began to draw all over it. No matter what he did, the paper stayed the same. He did not give up. He tore the paper in half. He gave one half to a teammate to test it with saliva. He kept the other half to test it with urine. In the end, the entire sheet was destroyed, but still, no answers appeared. Half an hour had passed. There was still no question. The man finally broke down. He began to suspect that the company had used the high salary as bait just to mess with him. Just then, one woman came up with another idea. There was a guard at the door. They were not allowed to speak to him, but the rules said nothing about touching him, so she slowly walked over to the guard and reached out her hand.